My name's Corey. I drive a 53 roots blown pickup truck. I've had it for about 14 years, raced it about 3 years, and I'm a full-time fireman.
My name's Chris. I'm a nurse, and I drive a 64 Chevy 2 Nova, and I'm his brother.
Same mother.
Same mother. Man, we are bloodbrothers racing. Yeah. Oh, that's so cheesy.
All right, I'm Corey. I'm Corey.
I'm Chris.
And we're bloodbrothers racing.
All right.
Do it one more time.
Okay.
I'm Corey.
I'm Chris.
And we're
Do it one more time.
All right. I'm Corey.
And I'm Chris.
I'm Corey.
Okay.
No, let's try to have
All right, serious now.
I'm Corey.
I'm Chris.
And we are bloodbrothers racing. So I've had a 53 pickup for I think about 14 years. About 3 or 4 years ago, me and my dad decided to race it down at Hotrod Reunion, which we've been going to for years, and we decided we want to race something. So that's where it all started. Back then it was just a regular naturally aspirated 383 with a T5 5-speed, and I was running high 13s is hard to get. And then over the years we've sped it up by Power Glide, Roots Blower 671, and a Ford 9 rear end. Currently my best is a 990 in the quarter, and the new setup was a 609, actual time 609 in the 8th. So hopefully we're gonna pick it up, maybe go to 9 flat in the future.
All right, well, I have a 64 Nova Chevy 2. I've owned it for about 3 or 4 months now.
Yep.
I've been racing for about a week, and it's been great to get to know this car. We bought it, we went all the way to North Carolina to pick it up. It looked good in the pictures. I fell in love with it just for that reason, and we got there, it wasn't what it seemed like. But we bought it anyway.
Chris got catfished.
I got catfished, yeah, exactly. So we brought it home, we did extensive work on it, changed the rear end out, rebuilt the Dana 60, changed out the ladder bars, did a little bit of engine compartment work, some electronics and such. But we finally got it running pretty good, we think. So we went out and did some testing.
Yeah, we first tested in a parking lot in Mexico. And all we were doing was just launches, just to see how the chassis was going to react, what the motor was going to do. We found out then it was a really tight converter. I think we were stalling at 4,000. Really needs to be quite higher than that. We had a bog off the line, and it was going right until you corrected it.
Yes.
So
yeah, and
that could have been crown on the road, though.
Yeah, it could have been the crown on the road, but also, you know, it was starting out in second gear. We had the solenoid on there, the shift solenoid, and it was clicking out too soon or was too tight. So Corey ended up pulling it off. We tried it again. It seemed a little bit better in first gear, but still had some issues, and it just wasn't taking off the line very quick. So after we did that, you know, I felt a little bit more confident in actually taking the car off the line. So we decided to go down to Ohio Valley on an 8th mile track just to see, you know, what my car and his truck would do out there.
And at this time, my truck was finally ready from the upgrades over the winter, which was, we did a full certified chassis, funny car cage, and redid the wiring system with a smart wire, which actually broke, and it's still at MSD getting fixed 2 months later. So I had to buy another one, which is, I don't know if you guys know, but it's expensive. So we got it ready, we went down there. At least for my side of things, I made 2 passes. The first one was a full pass, even though I said it was gonna be a 60 foot. We ran a 609, and I had a lot left in it, shifted way too early. And I didn't get it great off the line because I still, you know, new car, new setup, a little hesitant. Second pass went out, and according to the data logs, I should have been about a low 590 pass, and right at the 400 foot mark or so, the motor blew, which I'm sure we'll put some video up on that.
Yeah, actually right here. Is that, you know how that works? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right here, up in the sky.
Yeah, there we go.
All right.
Anyway, so yeah, unfortunately his motor blew, and that kind of sunk us for getting to Bowling Green. But we
you
tried.
made a couple passes, three passes.
I made 3 passes in the 8th, and did learn how to manipulate the tree and how to take off and get a good reaction time to some degree. So it was a good learning experience for me, but unfortunately,
even then we had a bog off the line.
Yes, there
which
was
we knew we were going to deal with.
Yeah, there was a stutter.
But we just assumed it was all converter issue, so we went ahead and went to Bowling Green.
Yeah. So we were hoping we could get a motor for him before Bowling Green, but
we took the truck because we were hoping to find a motor. And we actually got one offered to us, but it was too late in the week to kind of make it. Logistically, it would just been really difficult, and we may not even made the first 2 qualifiers. So we decided to scrap it. We focused on his car.
Yeah. So we went down. It was pretty much a week adventure. We went down on Monday. The races weren't until Friday, Saturday, but we went down on Monday to make sure we had a good spot for pits. Stayed the night in the line to get in. Talked some strategy and talked to some friends, and the next morning we got up and we waited a turn to get in, and we knew what pit we wanted. We Google mapped it and measured it, and we knew exactly where we wanted to go, right in front of the scoreboard, so we could see the times as cars passed by. And that's when disaster hit.
So we also, with that measuring, we know that the toter and the trailer is, I think it was like 68 feet, and if we thought we had about 70 where we wanted to be. It may not be real long for some of the guys that's watching this, but she's girthy.
Yes.
At any rate, we wouldn't have made the spot, but it was a little downhill after getting off the pavement, and my rear tires went into that dip, and the trailer got stuck on the concrete. So about an hour, and 4 friends, one new one, us, some friends, 3 jacks,
A lot of sweat.
a lot of hammers,
a lot of hammers, a lot of
a
sweat.
lot of cussing.
A lot of cussing, yeah.
We got it off the toter, and then moved the toter, got the truck, moved the trailer, released the trailer, got the toter hooked back up. Hour later, we had a new spot, fit good. It was past the finish line, but we enjoyed ourselves anyway.
Yeah.
So Tuesday night, all we did was set up, kind of just talk strategy, looked at things.
And mind you, this is like the hottest time of the year. It was like
been 100.
98, 99, 100, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
I was struggling not to pass out and not to throw up, and I had drank so much water, but my pee was still neon. I mean, it was insane.
TMI. TMI.
Anyway, at any rate, so we prepared for Wednesday, which was Tech Day. And with his car, we knew there were some things that techs may not like. Now, everything we did over that 4-month period was to make sure that we were as safe as we can be without heavy modifications. But there was a few things the tech could complain about, but they didn't. And all the safety stuff we put on it was really beyond the speed he was running anyway. So we were safe regardless. And tech passed it without any problems, and that's very uncommon down at Bowling Green.
Yeah.
If anybody that's watching this as Rand knows, the tech has to earn their money, and they usually try to find something and ding you on it.
Yeah, and that was my very first tech, so I didn't know what to expect. And here's a little video of me trying to drive into it for the first time. It was a sentimental thing for me because that was my first time. But, it went really well. The guy was really nice, and, he did look at everything he was supposed to look at, but, I think we did a good job of making sure everything was legit to spec and safety.
Well, and also the things that you do, if you do them really well, make them look really professional, especially things that stand out, tech's not going to dig a ton on stuff that, they should, but, just make sure you do quality work, and generally that gets you by.
Yeah, so we made it through inspection, and so later on that night, we wanted to make sure that the valves...
Just go over the car.
Go over the car, so we changed the spark plugs, looked at the valve lash, and then, I was kind of looking at the car sitting in front of it and noticed that the front tires looked like they were dry rotted, yeah. And so I got to thinking, a little bit of panicking, I guess, and thinking I don't want to go, 120 miles down the strip, miles an hour, and then something below. So I talked to him, and one of the things we did was we decided we're going to change the rims off his truck into my car, and it became a big fiasco because I was out late trying to find lug nuts that would fit different size studs, and then different type of lug nuts, but we got it to work. But the biggest thing was that when we set the valve lash, we noticed that they were a little off from when we did it in the shop. And then
Which it was expected.
Yeah, it was expected.
Yeah,
but
but stud girls and stuff, they don't stay true forever.
So, me not having the experience in doing this on a normal basis, I asked him if I can do one side. And so he did the driver's side, I did the passenger side, and he kind of watched. But, lesson learned is, you got to make sure you tighten everything back up.
Which we'll find out on Thursday.
Yeah.
The one thing we did do is we added a 2-step that night as well, because we knew he has a Pro Tree brake, he's running a Sportsman tree. We had to figure out a way of slowing the car down enough to where he wouldn't red light. So that night with 4 lug nuts, we went and just did some quick little launch hits, nothing fast, just right off the line, letting off the trans brake. And we thought everything was better, but we still had a little hesitation, but not a stutter. So Thursday was the first qualifier, early morning. I think it was like 10 a.m.
10 a.m. No, actually 8 a.m.
No, that was on Friday.
Was it Friday? Okay. Yeah.
First one Thursday was 10.
All right.
Went out there and first launch, it launched good, but then it died. Almost the motor completely died and picked back up. Hit the torque converter and then kind of stayed bogged. And then once it hit past the torque converter, the motor was happy and it was gone. So that was the first pass was like
11:85. Something like that. Yeah.
You'll find out. I'm sure we'll put a time slip in there.
So it was somewhere around there. But the good thing was the reaction time was great for my first time.
018 I think it was.
018 for my very first time doing it. I was a little nervous, but the hesitation was there. So
and the big thing was the stutter, which we talked about it after the first qualifier, and we thought, hindsight 2020, we thought maybe if the stall was consistent, we could work with it as long as it was consistent. So we didn't change anything to the second qualifier. And you said you red lit on that one, right?
On the second one, I was the one I red lit. And the reason being was that, I stuck my finger on the trans brake and put my foot on the gas at the same time. And I think when I hit it at the same time, it lurched forward maybe
a couple inches.
And that little bit caused me to red light, because you could see in the video that I left the exact same time before.
I think it was 075 red.
Yeah, it was real small.
And the stutter was worse, which was an issue.
Yes.
So we decided we had to make some kind of adjustment. Mm-hmm. My original thought was it might have been maybe a power valve issue. Maybe when it launches off the converter or hits the converter, it bogs enough to where the power valve dumped fuel, causing a bog. That was the original mindset and thought. So we pulled the flow bowls off to check jets, and I noticed that there was the brake booster valve on the back of the carburetor was not plugged. So we were stupid lean, and that was not my mistake. This guy's mistake.
Yeah, so as we were working on the motor, I bought a new carburetor for it and didn't realize that there was a port in the back. I knew there was, but I didn't remember there was, I guess. And I went and bought the plugs, the little caps, and I plugged all of them, but didn't see that one because it was hidden underneath the bowl.
And in his defense, you really couldn't see.
And it is my fault though. Yeah. But so this whole time we've been running lean because that open port. And so one of our friends, Nick, went down the road and got us some caps, and we did that. And what did we decide on the power valve?
Well, the power valve was there, and we haven't checked the inches of vacuum to see if it was going to be a problem. I didn't have one in the trailer. I could probably found somebody that had one, but we thought, well, let's run it without the huge vacuum leak and see what it does. We were supposed to have 2 qualifiers on Friday, and we ended up getting a rain delay and a storm. Ended up having to take canopies down. It was a whole mess. Sure, there'll be a video or picture.
The winds were really, really bad. Thing was, it cooled down.
Yeah, considerably.
Started to cool down. So
the third qualifier
went out. We were supposed to have 2, but we only had the 1, and it started about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Actually, once the rain and everything passed.
We forgot. You let out.
Yes.
So, again, I would much rather him let out than on that second qualifier.
Yeah.
He felt it was drifting, maybe a little vibration. New car, second time down a quarter mile, which is going 115 plus. I understand. Let out of it. Yeah. So that night, I made him touch every single nut and bolt in the front of the car and the rear of the car, so he'd feel confident that everything was tight. And then if it starts drifting, make a correction.
I think we forgot about the big thing, actually.
What's that?
The valves, Flash.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah. Loose girdle, it says right there.
Yeah, I forgot though.
So Thursday night, after the carburetor thing, we decided
which was my fault.
Run the valves again. We checked the driver's side, it was good, and when I started on the passenger side, I noticed something was obviously wrong. What had happened is the girdle wasn't tightened. The way I do my valves is I loosen the girdle completely, raise it to the top of the studs, and then just snug it, just enough so you can turn it. And then after you've set all your valves, tighten them up. I'm sure we maybe do a tech video on how I do them.
So that was my side that I was wanting to learn on, and I did all the valve lash, and that seemed to go well, but I just forgot to tighten up the girdle, and it dropped. The rockers were hitting it and causing issues, and when we actually test fired the engine, Corey and Nick was outside listening, they both heard it, and so
shut it down quick.
We shut it down and inspected it and realized what was going on, and everything appeared to be okay at the moment.
But that night we assumed that with the vacuum leak, and then we knew one cylinder wasn't running correctly. It had probably 60 to 100 thousandths of lash on it. It could have been from when the girdle went down, and him testing it, the rocker could have been hitting the top of the girdle, causing a false reading, and that's the reason it was so loose. But we assumed with that cylinder down, the vacuum leak, we were just gonna go out there and set the world on fire, just rotate the earth. And nope, I didn't do that.
We were hoping for like a 10.5 second, 11 second car, and it did better. It did 1172, but
picked up 2 mile an hour.
Did not have that hesitation, which was a big thing for us.
We can work with that consistency.
So the third run was good. It ran smooth straight down the track and everything, and I was happy. I think you were happy, and so we thought, well, come eliminations in the next morning, we're gonna figure it out. So
also on my recollection of things, I think Friday was your red light. We'll figure that out in post, I'm sure. But the reason I say that is that's part of the reason. That's part of the reason we went down in the two-step. So the two-step was set at 3,400 originally. And with all the fixes and the weather was going to be better the next day, I thought we need to lower that a little bit so that maybe it wasn't so quick to launch for first round. That evening, we found the girdle, we fixed all that. Saturday was first round.
Yeah, so
8 a.m. wasn't it?
8 a.m. Our class was early. At first. It's either going to be a short day or going to be a long day.
Yeah.
And when I did the red light earlier in one of the other passes, the car lunched for just a couple inches, and I knew we decided, okay, I did it wrong. I mean, I hit the gas and the button at the same time. So he's like, hit the button first, wait just a split second, then hit your gas. And I had my foot on the brake and all of a sudden, in the middle of sitting in the lane, ready to go, it just got confusing, and before I knew it, my light was go.
Yeah, and in heat of the moment, it is a lot like rubbing your belly and patting your head.
Yeah, and so I got a reaction of 0.498, I think it was.
Half second.
The guy that I was racing was, I was 1172, he was a 1092, so it was like an 80 or an 8.
Yeah,
tenths,
a little over half second.
Yeah, so he gained most of that back. And by the time I got to the end of the track, he was already ahead of me, and I knew my only chance was to let out and hope that he broke out, because everybody seemed to be breaking out that day.
To give you some idea, the Thursday, if I remember correctly, the DA or density altitude was like 3,500 feet. On Friday's testing, it was like 2,800. And first round elimination, we were between 1,200 and 1,500, depending on what time of the day it was. So a lot of people had a lot more power than they expected, but it was a big class with a lot of heavy hitters. It would have been, you could have probably had that reaction time against somebody else and won because everybody was breaking out.
Yeah, I had a really good guy, and he, as I was letting off, he was letting off too. So he knew what was going on. Yeah. So, anyways, my day ended early. I mean, the first round, but hey, I had 4 runs. I had a great time, learned a lot, and we're going to go get them next time.
We stayed for a little longer because, I mean, we're not going to spend all that time down there not watching racing, so we did that, and then our buddy Sam was just killing it in Pro Gas, and he ended up winning, which we were super excited for. We stayed late just so we could, share that winning with him. That was a real special moment for me. Sam's a really good guy, and he was one of the first guys I met when I started going down there as a spectator, and I was really pumped to be there for his win at Bowling Green.
Yeah, and to be in the photo for the winner's circle.
I was over the moon.
That was great.
Yeah, it was just great. He's an amazing guy, and I'm really glad for him. I hope to be there one day and have him in the photo with me. Yeah. So we'll get there.
Yeah, and so our goals, both of our goals, is to win a race one day.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Corey has a really good chance at it with consistency. I've got a ways to go. I mean, my goal is to be a 10-second car. We got a lot of work to do that, and but
we'll get
there
incrementally. So his thing is we got to get him to 10 flat so he can run a Pro Gas with us, and consistency and lines and winning some rounds. Mine is just winning a race because I've already done that first part, kind of. We haven't really had a chance to test the consistency in the new chassis, but everything I've predicted so far was dead accurate, other than the motor blowing, which we were working on a ticking time bomb anyway, so that's not a huge deal. What else we got? That was pretty much the weekend.
Yeah. So anyway,
Future, I guess. Right?
Yeah, future.
What are we
So
doing in the future?
in the future, we're
Torque
gonna,
converter.
Torque converter, yeah. We got to change the torque converter in the Nova first. That's like the biggest thing. And hopefully get that in order here soon so that when we go to Norwalk, it'll be ready to go. The other thing about Norwalk was we hope that your motor is ready to go.
So I just got the block from Ohio Crankshaft. I got them to build a short block, which they told me 2 weeks and I had it done a week and a day. I can't complain. Those guys are great. Really good customer service. Ohio Crankshaft, if anybody is needing a short block or even a long block or a full complete motor, dyno tested. They can do it all over there. Real happy. It's a Motown block, Ohio Crank Forged crank, and H-beam rods, and then diamond pistons. I still got some head work being done, but that's not really my holdup. I'm waiting on camshaft and lifters from Crowder and head gaskets from Cometic because all those are on back order. We're hoping to have that done. I'm guesstimating 3 weeks. Maybe give us a day in Ohio Valley to test, and then we'll go to Norwalk.
Yeah.
So that's the plan.
So we have 4 races left for the season: Norwalk, Edgewater, Indy, and back at Bowling Green. We're hoping to get ready for all of them. So you can follow along with us as we try to hit our goals. We're going to have more episodes coming up, then we'll have a recap on all the races. And you just follow our progress. It's going to be exciting. I'm excited for this year, and next year's even going to be even better.
We're going to try to do 2 decent videos a month for our race schedule, and then maybe some little tech tips here and there on the channel. This is all new to us. We wanted to share it and have it for us to look back on, and then anybody that's interested in watching. So like, comment, and subscribe.
Oh yeah, all right, down here, down
over here,
or
is it up there now?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
But that up there will probably be to new videos because we're going to be big, and then these will be some interesting related videos here and here. So I don't know. We're going to do good. It's going to be fun. We're a little bit unrelaxed because we're not in what we're doing, but I'm a funny guy.
I'm a funny guy. You're a funny guy. What are you going to do?
Yeah, we'll have a good time. Bring you along, and it'll be fun.
Yeah. So watch us. Watch for the next one, the Blood Brother Chronicles. See you next time.